Good afternoon, everyone. Hello, I am Jessica Canty. I am your life and career strategist. What does that mean? That means I have a passion for helping people go from unfulfilled jobs to their dream careers. And this week is especially poignant. Welcome you all. Come on in so we can have this chat today. About last week, I did a curbside convo. If you're not familiar with some of the work that my company does, we often do curbside convos. Hello, welcome. We do curbside convos and we talk about things that can accelerate your career. And last week, I challenged the audience to make telework resolutions. Now, what does that mean? Welcome, you all. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. What is a telework resolution? One of the things that people often do at the end of the year, the beginning of a new year, December, January, they make resolutions. There's some things in their lives that they want to change. And so they say, I want to lose 10 pounds. I want to save enough money. I want to go on vacation this year. I want to spend more time with family and friends. And what happens around this time of year, around the March time frame, is that they look back and they realize, I was really fired up about this resolution in December and in January, but now I'm not even pursuing that. And so I wanted to adapt that conversation around what a resolution is. Now, a lot of us, our careers, our 9-to-5s or our 5-to-9s are asking us in an abundance of caution to work remotely. And so I want to make sure that we are using the best use of that time to work remotely. Some of the benefits to working remotely are that you don't have to commute. Most of us are commuting from our bed to our computer. And if you got a laptop, you probably don't even have to leave your bed. Some of us are not having to sit in traffic. Some of us are not having to spend money on transportation or energy on just being distracted from our goals. So my question to you is, what are you going to do with that extra time? How are you going to invest those finances you're not using? What are you going to do with that extra energy? How are you going to channel that energy into accomplishing your goals? You're not unlike a lot of people that say, one of these days I'm going to get around to writing a book. One of these days I'm going to get around to working out more, or I'm going to get around to spending more time with family. Now you've got the extra time. Now your finances aren't going to your transportation, wear and tear in your vehicle. What are you going to do with that extra time, those extra finances? So I propose for a specific portion of the audience that now is the time to think about your exit strategy. What do I mean by that? Your exit strategy from that unfulfilling job. So a lot of us are working remotely, but even you who are working remotely, some of you are in jobs you don't like. And even though the commute is from your bed to the computer, you're still not fulfilled. You want to be in a career that has that allows you space to be passionate. That allows you space. Welcome you all. That allows you space to be able to live out those skills that you have. Even if it's Monday morning and you're teleworking, it's still hard. Hi, Jarmel. Welcome. Someone saying they're retiring. That's a great transition. And so a lot of times when people retire, they transition into their passion project. I want to make sure I give you tips today on how to make sure that you utilize this telework time to leave your unfulfilling job for your dream career. And even if you're a transitional, Gorhamre, I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. If you're transitional like this particular person of the audience, I want to give you some tips to make the best use of this time so that when we come out of this space, you are prepared. You've sown the seeds to be a successful career. Welcome you all. Welcome you all. So we're going to jump right into the material. I've got 5 tips for you on how to make the best use of this time to go from that unfulfilling job, the job that you just can't stand, the people you can't stand to work with, the salary is not even what you want. It's not, you're overworked and you're underpaid. It's time to make a transition. So I'm going to give you the top 5 things that you need to do. And then at the end of our conversation, I have some questions for you. I want you all to ask any questions you have as well. But before I forget, I want to go ahead and ask the question now. I'm going to get through these top 5. And what my staff and I have been thinking about doing is offering courses on each of these 5 next week. So if you hear any of the top 5 and you say, I would love to delve more into that, please make sure you comment in the comment section below. Let me know, because I'm sitting over here developing. If you can see behind me, I've got all my boards, and I've got boards on this side. I'm developing a course along with the podcast, and I was wondering if you wanted that one-on-one attention, that time, so that we can have dedicated attention to each of these 5 points I'm going to. And if you hear something that you say, oh, Jessica, stay right there, hold in a little bit more on that tip, that'll let me know that you really want this as a course, and I can teach it as an online course for you and for the community. So I'm going to get into the top 5. Again, welcome you all. Thank you all for joining. So what I want you to do again is say, ooh, tell me a little bit more. Let me give that as a precursor, because I'm going to give the top 5. I'm going to go through them. However, I can't go through all of them because we would be on here for 2-3 hours. And if we want that 2-3 hour dedicated time, I want to make sure it's on a platform where we can record it and that you can go back and I can send you the link to it. So if that's something that you're interested in, I'm seeing some love already. So just let me know. And that's something that you're interested in. Oh, hi. Was it S-Man Johansson? If you have a question, I would love to patch you into live. I see that you're requesting to be live. Post your question so I can know what we're going to talk about when I connect you in live. Okay? So I really like the people are already joining us. And hello there. Welcome you all. Hello. Okay. So number 1, what you want to do, if you want to leave an unfulfilling job, if you want to leverage this time that you're working remotely to prepare you for your dream career, the first thing you need to do is to be clear on your why. You need to be clear on your why. One of the things I do with my clients is I help them to determine what is the mission and vision for their career. Why are they frustrated in their current position? What is it that they want to do differently? Is it that they're fulfilled in their job, but they're ready to take on additional offers? Like I did a resume review last week, a live resume review last week. You can check it out on my YouTube channel, where I worked with a colleague who loved her job, but she wanted to be ready for new positions. So maybe you are fulfilled in your position, but you're not quite ready to take on additional positions. She wanted to be a consultant. So some of you all may want to do a side hustle or an additional stream of income, but you've got to be clear on your why. So when I meet a client for the first time, I begin to explore their why. And within the first 4 weeks I work with the client, they already know what their skills are. They know what their areas of improvement need to be. They know what their mission and values are. They have a tailored resume within the first 30 days, and they're ready to build their success squad. So you need to be clear on your why. Ask yourself these questions. What challenges are you currently facing in your career? Are you in a space where there really is not promotion capabilities, or there's not really promotion opportunities? Are you in a space where everybody around you is getting promoted, but you're not? Are you in a space where you feel like, everybody has the credentials and I don't have the credentials, and I feel like I can't move unless I get, letters behind my name, which is not true. There's so many positions that will say, you have to have this certain degree or these certain letters. Welcome you all. But you can be employed. Right now, my staff member who has over 25 years of experience helping people to get into management positions in government, she got a young man hired as a program manager in a top government official position with a bachelor's degree. Now, most people will say you have to have a master's degree, you have to have a doctorate in order to get in those top level positions. But she got someone because he was qualified. He knew what he was talking about. He knows what he's doing. But he has a bachelor's degree. And if you were to look at the job description for his job, it would say that he needed a higher than a bachelor's degree. You can get these jobs. So you need to be clear on your why. You see, I can get excited about this and start to talk about specific coaching. But I want to talk about being clear on your why. What are your challenges? Why is that a challenge? Is it that you don't like your commute? Are you traveling 2 hours to get to work and you're not fulfilled? Are you not able to spend time with family? Do you want to be able to explore projects and someone is saying, no, that's outside of your pay rate, your pay range, or they're saying that's only for management to do and you're not getting the help that you need? Be really clear on why you want to leave. Be really clear on what benefits it is to stay. But I really want you to be clear. I'm looking over here at my notes to make sure I get on it. What do you like about where you are now? What is it that you don't like about where you are right now? How long have you not liked what you like? About your job right now? How long? Some people will be in a job for 20 years and wake up every morning and complain about it. How much longer are you going to complain about this job? How much longer are you going to give your energy and your time to a job that you're not fulfilled in? And are you okay with 6 months from now? What is this? This March, April, May, June. Are you okay going into that holiday season being in that same job? If you're not, you need to be clear about that. I like that. Thank you, Lipstick Laws. She's saying, Lipstick Laws says, a rediscovery period is definitely now. And that's why I'm thinking about doing a class on each of these. I'm thinking about hosting a class to help people to be clear on their why. Because sometimes quitting your job is the best thing to do, but sometimes it's the best thing to do is to leverage your job. Who can you make connection with at your current job before you decide to leave it? Or maybe your passion could be fulfilled as a 5 to 9 and you want to stay in your 9 to 5. So if you all like what you hear, let me know by giving me some hearts or asking me some questions, because I'm really thinking about bringing this together as individual courses. So that's number one. If you want to leverage this time of having to work remotely to get you from your unfulfilled job to your dream career, number one is to be clear on your why. Thank you all for the hearts and the love. Now I know y'all know you can get me excited. I will write a whole class about this. Number two is remember why you are great. Remember why you are great. Oftentimes, actually almost every time I work with a client, between myself and my staff, over and over again, we see that people sell themselves short. They give us their resume, and we go through the process of tailoring their resume, which is what we do for our coaching clients. We write a whole resume, we revamp their resume, and we begin to ask them questions so that we can make sure the resume adequately reflects their skills. And they are so surprised that when they see on paper, they're like, oh my goodness, I really do amazing things. They don't realize that it takes a lot. Like you may write a task. Like right now I can say I'm doing a live, but a lot goes into this live. I had to determine the material. I had to determine the agenda. I had to choose the right medium to be able to communicate with my audience. I have to be able to respond to my audience. I have to be able to make sure that the material is something that they would need. I have to be able to check in with their understanding of what I'm saying. So I could just say on my resume, I teach lives. But it doesn't show all that goes into that. And that is a part of the reason why people forget why they're great. A lot of times my clients get so accustomed to doing something day in and day out that they forget it takes a whole lot of skill because it's like a second nature to them. Sort of like driving a car. If you have been a licensed driver for years, you may forget all that goes into checking for safety, making sure that the vehicle is working properly, making sure you signal. It takes a whole lot, but you're on automatic. You ever drove to a place and you're like, oh my goodness, how did I get here? I wasn't really paying attention, but your car almost knows it. No, it's because your body is accustomed to it. You don't think about all the skills that go into it. So I'm going to challenge you all to remember why you're great. So within the first 4 weeks I work with a client, I do a series of assessments. And that's a part of the package that we offer. One of the assessments we do is a mindset hurdle assessment. And we figure out, okay, what's getting in the way of your success? What are those mantras that you keep playing over and over that are not serving you well? Like, I don't meet the qualifications, or I only meet like 2 of the requirements on, welcome you all. I only meet 2 of the requirements on the job description. I don't know. You know, it's been a while. I'm too old to try. All this head junk that psychs them out before they even submit their resume, before they even go into the interview. And so it's my job as a coach. And if you're working with a career coach, it's the career coach's job to pull out, to elicit those strengths so it shows up on your resume. You can show up and show out on your interview, and you can land that dream career. So I'm going to give you a tidbit that typically I only tell my paid clients. You got a lot of time on your hands. Now is the time to get your personality testing done. Don't sit around all day doing the, are you a flower or are you a rock type assessments. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about your unique talents and skills. One assessment I always tell my clients to take is the 16 personalities assessment. I don't work for the company. I don't get paid by the company, but amazing results come from when you take this assessment. Just in 15 minutes, you will figure out about your personality in different situations. As a supervisor, as a subordinate in your family, as a caregiver, as a parent, as a significant other. So I want you to go check out 16personalities.com. It's completely free, and it's pages upon pages of assessment. The other assessment that I suggest you taking is the Strengths Finder assessment. Again, I don't work for the company, but it's a great way to use some of the language that they talk about to put in your resume. Now, the Strengths Finder is a nominal fee, but you're not spending it on gas. You're not spending it on lunches with coworkers. So invest that money right now. Go ahead and pay for the Strengths Finder. I think it's probably like $20. So for the cost of going out to your local coffee shop, you're not doing that this week. Invest that money in your career. And what I suggest you do, once you take that 16 personalities and you take the Strengths Finder, you need to share it with your e-board. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that in a moment. You need to share it with your members of your e-board, because that is going to set you up for success during this time. So let's review. Let's recap. Very first one is to be clear on your why. I saw some hearts about that. So I'm thinking about hosting a session on remembering your why. How to determine what is your next best career move. You need to remember your why to do that. Number 2 is remember why you are great. If that's something that you are interested in, like, can we talk a little bit about these assessments? I see some love. So that means I got to do a session for it. So whenever I see some hearts around these ones, I'm excited. I'm going to do a session around that. We'll go over the assessments and how you can incorporate that in your resume, how you can incorporate that when you interview, how you can incorporate that in your elevator speech. That's your unique power script. Everybody should have a unique power script or elevator speech. And how you can incorporate that when you're talking to your e-board and how they can support you. Your e-board is your executive board, your personal success squad. So taking these assessments are going to put your community around you to get you ready. Here's something else I want you to do. Number 3. All right, y'all. Y'all get me pumped up. I've got 2 classes already. Number 3. Let's see if we want to do this as a class 2. Number 3 is to update your resume. I can't tell you how many times I have clients come to me with resumes that are 4 or 5 pages long. And some of the experience is irrelevant to the position they're applying for. Or they want to make sure you know that they've been working for several years. So they put every job they've ever worked on a resume. You don't have to put every job you've ever worked on a resume. As a matter of fact, I encourage you not to. I encourage you to put every skill that's applicable to the job you're applying for. Every skill, not every employer, but every skill that is applicable to the job that you're applying for needs to be on that resume. So I'm going to give you a couple of tips around updating your resume. Now, I typically tell my clients they need to update their resume every 6 months just to have a standing resume. You should always be refreshing your resume. But I want to give you a couple of tips. And if you like what you hear, say, Jessica, do an update your resume class, because we can do that now. You know, everybody's at home. I'll schedule it. I'll let you know where to meet me so that we can do this update your resume class. Let me know, send me some hearts, or say, do that class for me, so I know that that's what you all want. Here's what you want to do in this time. Don't spend all your time scrolling through your news feed. Don't spend all your time Netflixing and chilling, Hulu and chilling. Don't spend all your time eating chips and dip. What I want you to do is to get on the computer. Look for your dream career. If you've got a great coach, a great job coach or a career coach, this is something they're going to tell you to do. Okay, it should always, absolutely. You always want to have the right person looking at your resume. And sometimes it's not your family and friends. They're going to say, oh yeah, that looks good. As a matter of fact, I worked with a young lady who's getting ready to graduate grad school. She was like, my family and friends say this resume looks really good. Can you look at it? I looked at it and said, no, babe, this is not good. Let's sit down and talk about this. I know your mom loves you. I know your father loves you. I know your sisters and brothers and family love you, but they may not have the expertise. And sometimes even people in your career field may not know the best resume as well. They can give you input, but they may not know the best advice to give you. So you want to update your resume. So this is the tips I have for updating your resume. Look for jobs now. If you can print off the job descriptions, print off the job descriptions. Sit down at your computer and look at your resume and say, does my resume match this job description? What I want you to do is, see, I've got my posters behind me. I'm not going to tell you to do something that I wouldn't do myself. I've got my posters behind me. I want you to get some poster board. I want you to map out, I want a poster board for each of the jobs you've ever had. And I want you to write out the tasks in that job. What did you do in those jobs? I want it to be big and to be a visual, because this is going to make it a lot easier to update your resume. This is not a waste of time. This is not just, a filler assignment or busy work. This is to be your own career coach. If you're not at a point where you want to invest the time, energy, and finances in a career coach, be your career coach. I'm giving you tips on how to be your own career coach. The first thing I want you to do is to get the posters out. So let's just say you worked at McDonald's. Let's say you worked at a nursing home. Let's say you worked at a high school. You want a poster for each of those positions. I want you to think about what you did during the day. And I want you to put it up on the wall, because you might forget some positions. And when you may forget some of the things you did. I want you to come back and update it. I want you to write all the things that you did. But I want you to have an additional poster. Your additional poster is going to be what you need to do to update your resume. So I want you to get a poster that says, what I need to do to update my resume, or update resume tasks, whatever title works best for you. Now is the time to do online certifications. Now is the time to update your licensure. Now is the time to take online courses, because you can't update your resume every 6 months if you've got nothing to update about it. You don't want to come to the end of the year and you're like, well, it's the same thing since it was 6 months ago. That's not going to help you in performance evaluations if you're trying to get a raise. That's not going to help you in updating your resume when you're updating into these portals. You have got to map out what it is that you need to do. So let's just say, I'll use for example, by profession, I'm also a clinical social worker, and that's why I'm able to do the mindset hurdles assessment. I've been a clinical social worker for 5 years now. Been in the social work profession. I've been a mental health practitioner for the last about 15 years. So when I say I'm doing this mindset assessment, I am truly assessing my clients for what are the psychological hurdles that are getting in the way of their success. What I want you to do, as a clinical social worker, every year I'm required to take certain trainings. So if I was updating my resume, I would have that poster and say, what trainings haven't I taken? What does NASW, which is the National Association of Social Work, what journals have I not read from them? What podcasts information do I need to listen to? Hint, hint, I've got a podcast coming out, so that might need to be on your poster. Next week, the podcast's coming out, you all. I'll give you some more information about that in a moment. What do you need to be listening to? You don't need to have a consistent news feed of what is taking place outside, because that's not going to help you with your dream career. What authorities do you need to be paying attention to? So like, someone said they're in the nursing field. What are the authorities saying about the next move in nursing? You need to write that on your board. I need to figure out what pages I need to follow. What pages do I need to mute? You need to mute some of the pages that are distracting. You need to only focus on the pages that are going to pour into your dream career. Who is doing virtual summits that I need to participate in? So that's what you need to put on that board. And you want to look at when you do this whole, actually, I feel like I'm teaching the class already. But if you all want a resume class about how you can update your resume, please somebody give me a heart or two, or let me know that you want to do that class, because I can teach that class. So on the last point for number 3, welcome you all. Thank you for joining. Number 3 is that you want to make sure that you look at all the task information that you put on your boards and change that language to transformation language. So instead of saying, I put together meetings, you compiled data. Instead of saying, I looked for things on the internet for my boss, no, you researched. Instead of saying, I helped a client, no, I facilitated education. So you want to go and look at it. If it's task-based, change those words to transformation. What I also want you to do is, the reason why I'm having you put that on those big posters and putting on the walls, I want you to begin to circle and highlight those common tasks, because you don't want to repeat it over and over. Your resume should only be 1 page. It's valuable real estate. If you can see those common tasks, I saw the hearts. That means I'm about to teach a class, you all. If you see commonalities between the positions, that's going to help you write your summary section or your highlight reel. That's going to help you write your elevator speech. That's going to help you to make sure, if you decide to do a combination resume, what to feature. It's going to tell you what education you need to put on it, because not everything you studied should go on your resume. It might not be applicable. You only have 1 page. So you want to make sure you're doing that. If you're not willing to invest the time, energy, and resources and finances into a career coach, it's time to be your own career coach. I highly suggest, it's like, they always say you shouldn't represent yourself in court because you're biased and you got emotional connections and you may miss things. I think it's the same thing with a career coach. But you might not be in a space to do it. I just suggest asking yourself, why am I not in this space? Now's the time. You don't have the commute, so you can give the time. You don't have co-workers distracting you. You don't have a boss breathing over your neck. Now's the time to make your schedule work for you. Okay, so 1, 2, and 3. Number 1 is to remember your why. Be clear on your why. Number 2 is to remember why you're great. Number 3 is to update your resume. And number 4 is to meet with your executive board. Let me talk a little bit about the executive board. Some people, this is the first time you've ever met me, you're probably like, executive board, Jessica, you talk about my dream career. I'm not an entrepreneur. I don't own a Fortune 500 company. No, you treat your career like it's a business. And you have to have the right people on the board of your career who are going to make the decisions and support you in your decisions to make the change to bring in the income you want. Like a company. A company has a chief financial officer. They're going to monitor what projects are draining and what projects are bringing in money. A company has a marketing manager, and they're going to say this is the best way to market the company. That's why you need people on your executive board. Because of the wonderful work that Swag Her magazine does, I love them. I'm biased. I love them. But if you check out their page, swagher.net, swagher.net, that's SWAGHER.net, you can see a link to some work that I did for them about your executive board. I'm going to tell you briefly what your executive board is. And I'm thinking about hosting another class where people can, you can ask me live questions and we can go over the rest. Saw the heart, you all. That means I'm going to have to do an executive board class. That means that I'm probably going to do it in a way that you all can also share with me your resume. I would love to be able to do that, to be able to share in live time. I would love to be able to do an impromptu resume review. Okay, yes. And that presentation about the executive board, I'm going to do that. Thank you so much, Fancy Swag Her. I appreciate that. Your executive board consists of, it's not just your homegirls. It's not your fraternity brothers. Oh, awesome. You did the personality test. Awesome. I would love to hear how that went for you. Did you find out a lot of information? Comment down below. Tell me, did you have some aha moments? Did you have some things that challenged you? I would love to hear how that went for you. On your executive board, you need a role model. You need a mentor. You need a sponsor, and you need a coach. I'm developing a tool right now called the Executive Board Playbook that right now it's only for my paid clients, but I'm thinking about making it available. Oh, you're a protagonist. Oh, that's some good stuff. I bet you learned about how you interact with people at work, how you interact with your significant others, parenting or family member style. That's some good information. I would suggest you take that information and see what language you can use and put in your resume, because it tells you what your strengths are. So you should have that in your highlight section. So I'm glad that someone went to go ahead and take the assessment. He took it right while we were on here. So it doesn't take very long, and you can get it taken. You can you took it right where we did it. So you could, I would say, pull out your resume, pull out the assessment, and make sure the language that's on the assessment is on your resume. Good stuff. You see, you guys, I'm giving you some good stuff. So with the executive board, again, I'm developing a tool called the Executive Board Playbook. And it's only available right now to my paid clients, but I'm thinking about developing it in a way that I'll offer it to the market, even if you're not a paid client. So I'm in discussions with a publisher right now. If you are excited about that or you want to know more about that, the Executive Board Playbook is giving you step-by-step instructions. It's a coach in your hand telling you how to build your executive board. It's got contracts in it. It's got contracts in it. It's got sample templates with what you should be talking to your mentor about, sample questions, how to determine who your sponsor is, what information you need to give to your sponsor. So if that's something you're interested in, please let me know below, or you can reach out to Swag Her Magazine and let them know. Say, Jessica was talking about that Executive Board Playbook. Can you tell me a little bit more about that? Because I'm in conversation right now with the publisher to make it more available to the public. So even if you're not a paid client, I want to be able to give you that resource in your hand. Okay, so top 4 already were, you got to be clear on your why. Oh, I know. You know what? I know you haven't finished reviewing the information because it's so much. Like, it's such rich stuff. Like, I would review it again. And I would also take it. Oh, thank you so much. I would also take it and compare it to the board's information you got behind you. So, like, when you create your boards for your resume, I want you to look at that assessment and see how it played out in those positions. Because if it didn't, that might be why you're unfulfilled. If it did, that might be the reason why you should stay in the similar work, but maybe in a different space that could compensate you better. So that goes for everybody. When you do that assessment, sit down and look and see how it compares to all the positions you got up on your walls. Because if it's completely different, that's probably why you're miserable. If it's similar, that means that you need to stay within that field, but find your specific niche. Thank you, Trailville, for joining us. Okay, so top 4, be clear on your why. Remember why you're great. That was number 2. That's why our community member talked about the assessment they completed. Number 3 is to update your resume. Get your poster board ready. I know your kids have got some construction paper. I know you've got some, you probably got some old paper hanging around. Even if you don't have posters, take some scrap paper and get this done. This is what I'm telling you all to do. This is what I do with my clients. And so I want you to be able to do this during this time. I love you all, and I really want the best for your career. Number 4 is to meet with your executive board. You can meet virtually, Zoom, do a live, meet with this person because you need to have that conversation. You should be talking to your mentor almost daily because you got the time. You should be talking to your coach almost daily. You should be at least talking to them once a week and doing the assignments they give you. If they're not giving you assignments, they're not a good coach. No matter how much you pay for them, if they're not giving you assignments, they're not a good coach. Pick a better coach. You should be watching your role model. You can do that virtually. You should be talking to your sponsor right now, lining up opportunities. If you don't know what that is, again, check out swagher.net. They have a link to the work that we did. This is back like a couple months ago. And you can also check out my YouTube page. But go to swagher.net first because they've got great information on there. And a lot of things I'm talking about is all in one section on their website under their career section, I believe it is. And then that way you can just kind of pick and choose which one you want to digest at that time. Again, it's swagher.net. I'm going to pick it. I'm going to put it in. Head over to swagher.net. And you can actually type in my name, Jessica Canty, and it'll show all the materials I have about your career, okay? All the materials that I've done with them. The next thing is, the last, number 5, is to brand. Again, this might sound kind of crazy. It sort of sounds like the executive board thing because people are like, well, I'm not a Fortune 500 company. I don't have a CEO, which is not true. You are the CEO of your career. So once you've built your executive board, now you got to have a marketing manager. Okay? Oh, thank you so much, Fancy Swagger. She put it in the comments. I'm going to go ahead and pin that comment. So check out in the comments. She's putting links to the discussions I'm talking about. Okay? Welcome, you all. You now have got to have a marketing manager. So I'm even thinking about adding that to the executive board. You want to have a marketing manager. Guess what? That's you. It's now time to brand yourself. Now is the time to get your online act together. Now is the time to do the cleanup. It's time to clean up and dump. Clean and dump. What do I mean by that? It's now time to go on your LinkedIn. Look at that picture. Is that a selfie you took? Is that a picture at somebody's cookout? Does it represent your job? And if you got a role model, you should be looking at your role model's LinkedIn page. What does that look like? If you got a role model, you should be looking at their online presence. What are they posting? What are they not posting? Be very mindful of what they're posting, what they're not posting. And clean up your online act, especially for my people who want to go into the federal government. I'm seeing some hearts. That means I'm going to have a brand session. How to be your own marketing manager. Ooh, I just wrote the title. Oof, chills. I'm so excited about the things you all are going to do during this time. I love you and I love the progress you're going to make. So when you're building this brand, you want to look at what I was talking about is if your dream career is in the federal government. One, I want to tell you, I have my staff member who's focusing on government positions, especially those who want to have a clearance position. Now's the time to clean it up because clearances can take up to a year to get. But you can expedite your clearance. I'm going to tell you, this is what a lot of times my class participants groan about when I say it, because I teach classes. And one of the things they groan about is I say, if you delete your social media, that's the quickest way to expedite your clearance. If you're not willing to do that, that's perfectly fine, but you got to clean it up. Because they're looking at your behavior online. This goes for everybody, but most specifically those who want a government position, who want a position with a clearance. You got to look at it like somebody with a clearance because they're going to look at your online profiles. They want to know if you're bad-mouthing companies, they're not going to hire you. If you are too political, they may or may not hire you. This is not me making any judgment calls. I'm just telling you what I know. A lot of times people use their social media to express their causes, the things they believe in. Beautiful. You're entitled to that. Just know that when people are looking for to hire you, they're looking at your online profile. Welcome, y'all. Thank you for joining us. The other piece to that is not just dumping, but cleaning up. I started to think about doing a masterclass series, but this is something I do with my clients. One of the things I do with my clients is I tell them they need to create a YouTube channel and an Instagram page just for their dream career. And I'm going to tell you to do the same thing. It doesn't cost any money. You've got the time now. Doesn't cost much energy. Yes, please share this with your work colleagues. Click share. And I'm going to make sure this is available on YouTube. And I'm quite sure Swag Her Magazine is going to make sure this is available on their internet, on their page, because they are always pushing out quality products. So just as a commercial break really quickly, if you're an entrepreneur, this is a great platform for you to use for swagher.net because you see the quality information they're giving you now. They've got experts that come on their page. They've got experts that will interview and introduce you to the community. So this is the time. You're not spending money eating out lunches or on coffee. Now's the time to invest in your business. For those who are employees instead of employers or self-employed, now's the time to invest in your business. Now's the time to invest in your brand as well. Don't just sit on the couch. Don't just spend it all on Amazon. Hire the right people. One of the right people to hire is a marketing manager. One of the right people to hire is a career coach. One of the right people to hire is Swag Her Magazine. Take advantage of this time. So what I want you to do is, this is something I often do in my classes, and it's a group exercise I do, so I'm going to do this with you all right now, is I want you to sell yourself. You got a phone. You got a computer. They've got cameras. Create a video selling yourself to your dream employer. Why should they hire you? In class, I say, here's a pen. I'm going to give you $3 million if you can convince that person to purchase this pen. Okay? And in the comment section, I just pinned for my entrepreneurs, when you're ready to take your business to the next level, check out that comment. You ready to advertise? Check out that comment. Check out swagher.net. I tell them to sell the pen. What I want you to do is to sell yourself. Let me give you an example. I am Jessica Canty. I am your life and career strategist. I have a passion for helping people go from unfulfilled jobs to their dream careers. My staff and I help our clients through resume and interview refinement, career path planning, and reputation revitalization. We do so through one-on-one coaching, workshops, keynote speeches, and our online platform. We are currently creating our publications to be able to sell to our clients so they can have in their hands a career coach in their pocket. There you go. I just sold myself. You know who I am. You know what I do. You know the highlight section from my resume. Do you know that for your own career? What makes you distinctively different from everybody else? What makes you unique? Now's the time to determine that, because everybody's on their couch. What's going to make you unique is you're going to make the best of this time. You're going to come out of this time greater than all the other candidates who wasted their time chilling, who ate out all the food out of the refrigerator, all the food out the pantry, but they are not any better in their goals. So it's time. All right, you all. Speaking of time, I can get on my soapbox. I can be on this thing for 3-4 hours. But I'm going to go back through really quickly the top 5. Top 5 is to be clear on your why, to remember why you're great, to update your resume, to meet with your executive board, and to become your own marketing manager. Brand. Welcome, you all. So because I saw hearts for all 5, I'm going to develop some courses for next week. I'm going to be in communication with Swag Her Magazine, so you can be in communication with them as well. What's popping? I'm going to tell you what's popping. Your career. I'm going to tell you what's not popping. That unfulfilled job. What's popping is that your desired salary. I'm ready to get that popping for you. Thank you for asking, E-Boy, Unruly. That's what's popping right now. Okay? So I'm going to develop that. I'm going to contact Swag Her Magazine and talk about how I can get you all connected to those courses, because I want to be able to delve in. I want you all to do the work I just told you and get ready for next week, because we're going to have individual classes. I want to be able to do a live resume review. I want to be able to talk a little bit about those self-assessments, how to be your marketing manager. And so I'm going to determine the best platform to do it on. But again, in the meantime, you need to check in with Swag Her Magazine. In the meantime, you can DM me directly, Jessica Canty. You can also check out my email address is jessicacanty@jessicacanty.com. Again, that's jessicacanty@jessicacanty.com. So if you don't remember anything that's happening here, if you need a pause, replay, if you missed any time of our conversation, you did miss a whole lot, because it was a lot of conversation. The community was even working while we were talking. We got a lot accomplished. Somebody already knows why they're great. In less than an hour, they knew why they're great. In less than an hour, I gave you 5 steps to rock this time and get your dream career. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. Again, jessicacanty@jessicacanty.com, or head over to Swag Her Magazine's page. Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and pin that because they know how to get in contact with me. And they know if you have any questions, comments, concerns, you can pose it to them or pose it to me. Or if you have any course ideas that you want me to cover that I didn't cover today, you can contact them directly or contact me so that we can get that material out to you, because they're an excellent platform about hearing from their community and providing the community with the solutions to their needs and to their challenges. So you want to do that. Okay, so my parting announcement is I'm excited. We're having a podcast start next week. It's called Cubicle Conversations, Discussions to Accelerate Your Career Goals. Cubicle conversations, discussions to accelerate your career goals. You can check out my page for more information about their launch, so you know exactly when we're launching. And in the meantime, I want to give you a gift. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for following Swag Hers page. I want to give you a gift. Just say thank you. Because that's good. That's just good etiquette. That's one of the things I teach my clients. The secret sauce to keeping a job is knowing etiquette. Knowing that manners move mountains. I'm going to give you a quick etiquette lesson. You always give a thank you gift. I'm a big example. I got a thank you gift for you. Head over to my page, check the link in my bio, and there's a free gift for you. It's my thank you gift for you to maximize this time. As always, you all, I look forward to the next time we chat. Be on the lookout. Make sure you stay in touch with Swag Her Magazine and myself for upcoming material. And be on the lookout for both our YouTube channels so you can catch the replay for what we talked about today. Until next time, friends, I'll see you all soon.